Hi everyone, welcome to AWS Data Engineer Training Program, and today we'll be talking about EC2, that stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. So this is one of the important and one of the very common service provided by AWS. And to keep it simple, right, EC2 is nothing but a virtual server on the cloud. That means you need a server to do something, to process your data, to analyze your data. And instead of buying that server by yourself, that server is already available somewhere at some geographical location, and you can access it, you can use it, and you can just pay as per your uses. So we'll talk more about it. We'll launch one server, how to launch it, what are the parameters required, what are other configuration required, how to connect to it. All these things we will do. So the agenda for today's class is overview of EC2 service, EC2 instance types, launch your first EC2 instance, configure network settings, key pair 4 EC2 instances, connect to EC2 instance, and EC2 instance commands overview. All these things we'll be doing practically, starting with EC2 instance type. So when you launch your server, it depends upon your requirement, like what type of server you are looking for. It may be general purpose, it may be compute optimized. If you are doing very heavy computation, for example machine learning is very heavy operation, because that analyze your data, that train your data multiple times, and it takes large amount of data as input. So that is a compute heavy operation. Similarly, there can be some memory optimized. If you talk about Spark related application, Spark is a memory based, you can say, uh, platform where you can analyze your data. Similarly, storage optimized. That means you need a lot of storage. You may need to read and write the data again and again. So you need a performance while reading and writing the data. Computation may not be that much heavy. So in that case, you need a storage optimized instance. And similarly, accelerated computing. It's again related to machine learning stuff, or like medical research and all, where there's a lot of computation power is required. So first of all, you don't need to remember it. You never need to remember it actually, because whenever you will launch the software, it will show you all types, and depending upon your choice, depending upon your need, how much of RAM you need, how much of CPU you need, how much of networking you need, accordingly you can choose the uh, particular instance type. After that, there are further types. If you go to general purpose, you can see that there is a A1, T3, T3A, T2, M4, M4, M5, M5A. Similarly, compute are all starting with C. Memory optimized starting with like few are R means RAM. Storage is there and accelerated is there. Okay. Even I don't remember it. I'm working on AWS from last 6 to 7 years, and I don't remember all this thing. But yes, I know that yes, for different type of purpose, there are different type of instances available. That means if you choose carefully, if you choose wisely, that can give you a good performance. Okay. So let's start with launching one instance, and instead of PPT, I will jump to my account and we'll do all the things practically. Okay. Before we start doing the things, in case anyone is having any doubt till this point of time, you can ask me. Shravani, could you please confirm if there is any doubt till now?
No, Neeraj, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so I have opened EC2 console on my EC2, my AWS UI, as you can see. And on the left side, there are a lot of options. But one option you can see under instance is this one. And you will notice that there is no instance available, because we recently created our account and we haven't created any EC2 instance as of now. But that's fine. We'll be launching one today. We'll click on launch instance, and it will ask a lot of things. But don't worry, again, you don't have to remember. By looking at the screen, you will understand what they are asking for. The very first thing they are asking about the name. You can give a meaningful name to your server, so that suppose you have multiple tens or twenties of server, how would you identify which server is for what purpose, right? So give some meaningful name. As of now, to keep it simple, I am giving my first EC2 instance or server, whatever you want, instance. Okay, just a meaningful name. After that, application and OS image. When we are installing any operating system, even you might have installed in your college time or something, like we have Windows CD, right? Later on nowadays, like there is no concept of CD nowadays. There's an image, and using that image, you can install any operating system, whether it's Windows or it's Linux or it's Red Hat or it's Mac or anything. It's completely up to you as per your requirement. If you are planning to run an application on your server and that application is Windows based, that simply means that you need Windows operating system on this server. On the other side, if your application which you will be running on your server, suppose that is Linux based, so you will be installing a Linux based operating system. Most of the cases we go with Amazon provided Linux. That's like a, I would say, on top of Linux, they have provided some extra, I can say, softwares. For example, AWS related all the tools they will already install. That means you don't have to develop, as a developer, you don't have to install each and everything by yourself. That's why most of the time we will go with Amazon Linux until or unless there is a specific requirement from your project or from your client that they need Ubuntu or they need Microsoft or they need Red Hat, and there are many more. This is not the only list. There are many more operating systems which you can choose. Okay, so I'm going with the default one, and you can see the name also, Amazon Linux 2023 AMI. This one is the latest image provided by Amazon, which we will be going with. And the most important part is free tier eligible. That means if you go with this image, you won't be charged anything. That is provided for free by AWS. It's very important to choose. Suppose I will choose something else, maybe Mac or something. Let's see. You can see that there are few more. Deep learning is there and the SQL server is there. These are not free. But if you go with the first one, Amazon Linux 2023 AMI, that is free of cost available. So we will go with that one. And now after that, what we will do is instance type. I was talking about instance type, right? Like storage optimized, compute optimized. So you can choose this one, the default one, t2.micro. You don't have to remember the name. Just look at the configuration. The family is T2. That means it comes under T2 category. One vCPU. vCPU means virtual CPU, and 1 GB memory, and all these things are listed here. Apart from free tier uses, because definitely even with free tier uses, there is some limit that you can use for these many hours in 1 month. If you are going beyond that, there can be some charges, as you can see here. Okay, if you click on this drop down, you will find many more type. See this, T2.micro is free tier eligible. There are many more. I would say T2.small, that's not freely available. T2.medium, T2.large, and you will notice that the configuration is increasing. T2.large is like 2 CPUs and 8 GB RAM. Then T2.x large, CPU and 6 GB RAM. And similarly, you can keep going. This is very, very big list, very long list. As per your need, you can go for that particular one. You see this, 32 CPUs and 128 GB of RAM. Definitely, it would be costly, right? So we will go with the first one, default one, and we are good for that. The next is key pair login. What is that key pair? Key pair is used to connect to your server. You will choose the configuration, you will choose everything, you will launch the server. That is fine. But the next thing is how to connect. Without connecting to that server, there is no point. If I can't run anything, if I cannot execute anything, then there is no point of launching a server. So at the time of launching the server, it is giving you the option that you can create one key pair. Key pair is nothing but like a key. It will help you to log in into your server. So it's very easy. You can select from the list because we have a new account, so there is no key pair, right? So we will create new key pair. You can see here, I can give some name, my EC2 key pair. Okay. Type you can choose, it's an encryption type, RSA or something else. It's okay. We can go with default. That's fine. The next is private key file format. If you are on a Mac, if you are on a Linux based OS, you may need PEM file because PEM file will be required for creating a connection to your server. If you are on Windows system, we usually use PuTTY. So you can use download ppk file. So I will download ppk and you can read this one. When prompted, store the private key in a secure and accessible location on your computer. You will need it later to connect to your instance. It's very important step. So I will click on create key pair and it has already downloaded. You can see that. Why it has added one? Because I think for the last batch I have given the same name. That's why. We'll delete that. It's okay. Let's check it out. You can see that there are one more. I will remove them. EC2 key pair this. I will remove all three. I will only keep whatever is the latest one. So I will delete this. Okay, and let's rename it to keep it simple because it has some additional one and brackets. I will remove that. Yes, we are good now. So I will show you how to use this file in order to connect to your server. I'm coming back. Okay, so before we move, I would like to stop because there are a lot of configuration and we are discussing a lot of different things. So I would like to stop. In case you are having any doubt till this point, you can ask me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your voice is very low. Can you speak a little bit louder or come closer to the laptop? Okay, can you ask
Neeraj,
any question now?
yeah, Neeraj, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly audible.
Yeah, yeah. You have said to select like a .pem file, right, for the Mac users.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just selected that only. For the Windows user, it's for pp.